the Heisman Trust has announced that it is formally, quote, reinstating Reggie Bush 14 years after the USC football star said bye-bye to the 2005 Heisman Trophy because of what was, at the time, a major violation that was sanctioned against USC football because Reggie Bush was getting paid. Oh, my God. Name, image, and likeness changes were behind the move. They were referenced in a prepared statement released by the Heisman folks. And this has led to the pearl-clutching crowd saying, oh, my God, this is just the tip of the spear. So let us discuss the question. Reggie Bush getting the Heisman Trophy back, does this open up a can of worms for the NCAA? So I've got testimonial, Jimmy Cliff, and Golden Fleece. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to wreak havoc, which many people seem to think is going to happen to the NCAA because of this. Now, number one.
Number one.
Lorena might have been taking a bite of food there. Let me try that again. Number one.
Number one.
A little better. A little better. All right, so some breathless reactions to the Reggie Bush news. I always enjoy the over-the-top reactions. The sky is falling. It's Armageddon. I enjoy that. I live for that. So the claims are, if you haven't been paying attention, that this opens up Pandora's box, that since Reggie Bush is getting the Heisman back, schools like Southern Methodist, better known as SMU, if you're old, you remember, 40 years ago, they got the death penalty because Eric Dickerson was getting paid and other people. Ohio State players, more recently, they were getting compensated for memorabilia with tattoos and other things. Remember the Tennessee story where players were walking around with McDonald's bags filled with cash? And to the idea that all of those things now are in play, that there'll be lawsuits here, there, and everywhere, to that we say, take a breath. Because I spent 1 minute of my life that I will not get back, a minute-long MALLER review, and after that investigation, the answer is no. And here's why. Reggie Bush, let me say this very carefully and slowly, Reggie Bush got his trophy back from the Heisman Trust, not the NCAA. These are two completely independent operations. What this is, though, is a testimonial to the power of money and the power of the University of Southern California Alumni Association. There were thousands of dollars, not of Reggie Bush's money, that were spent. There was a grassroots movement. This has been going on for 4 or 5 years at least. I know driving around Los Angeles that there were billboards up off the 405 freeway and some other places saying, give Reggie Bush back his Heisman. You're probably thinking, why would that matter? It doesn't matter because the Heisman folks live in New York. They're not in L.A. But this is more of a symbolic win for Reggie Bush. And a lot of it's because of the bots on social media and the uproar on the socials. But it doesn't change the NCAA's situation. And Reggie Bush, for those that have not followed and read the fine print, Reggie Bush, from what I understand, is still involved in a defamation lawsuit against the NCAA over comments they made about the Heisman. So it is conceivable that the fact that Reggie Bush is getting back the Heisman will help that argument, saying, hey, you slandered me and you defamed me and now I got my trophy back. But that'll be decided by the courts. Stay tuned. Now, page 2, we shuffle off to the NFL. It is a big day on the calendar. If you're a draftnik, if you're a nerd, if you enjoy random names of people being read, the draft is such a spectacle now. I have a love-hate relationship with it. It's so over the top. They bring in celebrities, and it's a dog and pony show. And, there was like the Marriott Marquis in Times Square. They had the NFL draft when I was a kid, and it was a bunch of middle-aged people sitting around, and there was just not a lot going on. There was no real entertainment value. Now they try to jazz it up. And for some people, it works. I watched the top 10 picks, and then I'm out. Now, this is not about the NFL draft because there's a story out of Detroit where the draft is being held, but we're told that Jared Goff is not getting a contract extension with the Lions anytime soon. Now, that's newsworthy because the Detroit football team robbed a couple of banks, and they signed their star tackle, Penny Sewell, to a big contract. Amon-Ra St. Brown got a massive contract, but not the quarterback. So thumbs up or thumbs down, thumbs up, thumbs down, are the Lions making a tactical error not extending Jared Goff? So I'm going to go thumbs down. I do not believe they are making a tactical mistake. I don't buy that. This is actually a wise move for the Detroit football team. Jared Goff is entering a lame duck season, which I'm okay with, right? I'm okay with that. And clearly the Lions are okay, unless they fold before training camp, which could still happen. Right? But as we are talking right now, we have to worry about the show today. We can't worry about the show tomorrow. We can't worry about the show in July when training camp opens up. As we're doing the show today, the Lions are holding firm. And that's okay. And they should do that. The musical melody for this story at this point is a Jimmy Cliff classic from the 70s. Actions speak louder than words. Jared Goff is an afterthought. He's not a priority. Not a priority. He's on track to become a free agent in 2025. Now, the move here, which teams rarely do because the players hate it, the Lions could place the dreaded franchise tag on Jared Goff so they can get him an extra year after that. Now, occasionally that backfires. And I also fully am open and admit that I still have PTSD from watching Jared Goff with the Rams. He's actually been better with the Lions. He's a mid-level quarterback, which is all you really need. You can win a Super Bowl with a mid-level quarterback. Ask Nick Foles about that. But he's not my guy. So I'm fine with the Lions making him sweat a little bit. I'm okay with that. It's not my money. All right, final point. We have a tradition on this show. A lot of the things that we've done this for a while, and one of the things that we do is we hold football executives accountable. If you watch the draft and you consume the draft, you will often hear executives and coaches say, do not judge the draft right away. You can't judge the draft right away. Now, I realize that on Sunday night and Monday, there will be immediate report cards on the draft. We'll probably do one tomorrow because I got to fill content. So they always say, let it marinate. Don't judge a book by its cover, all those cliches. Okay, fine. Okay, that's fine. So they do this, of course, because they have plausible deniability. They figure that no one will actually go back and do it. Enter the Ben Maller Show. You want to bet on that? All right, so let's go back. We're going to set the hot tub time machine to 2020. Oh, boy, that was a bad year. Pandemic. Give me the good, the bad, and the ugly of the 2020 NFL draft. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So the good, all right, the good is the number one pick, Joe Burrow. The NFL's second-ranked quarterback on Maller's big board behind Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is way ahead. He's like Secretariat, but Joe Burrow's number 2. He's number 2. The Vikings, they got Justin Jefferson in that draft in the first round. CeeDee Lamb, drafted by Dallas. So that's the good also. Actually, those guys are great. Put them in the great category. Certainly Jefferson and Burrow. CeeDee Lamb's he's on the fence on that. But the good players, the good, the bad, and the other, the good players, Tua Tagovailoa, Justin Herbert. I said good, not great. Like, they put up big numbers. I don't trust Tua in a big game. I don't trust Herbert in a big game. But they're good stat guys, and a lot of people love stat guys, and they're good stat guys, so fine. The bad, hail to the Redskins. I guess they were called the Washington football team in 2020. I can't keep track. But the team in Washington took a defensive end named Chase Young, who is built like Adonis and plays like Cookie Monster. So he was drafted number 2. And then Detroit, they drafted a defensive back named Jeff Okudah with the number 3 pick in that draft. And so both those guys are on their third team now, which I'm told is not good. The ugly, the absolute ugliest of the ugly, I would argue, we've been doing this for a long time, this is the single most embarrassing, humiliating draft in the history of this show that we have broken down for first-round picks. The ugly of the ugliest, the Golden Fleece Award goes to the Raiders. That's right, the Raiders. That draft in the first round, this was the draft they picked wide receiver Henry Ruggs with the 12th overall pick and a defensive back named Damon Arnett from Ohio State with the number 19 pick. Since that draft, Arnett was arrested on gun and meth charges. Ruggs is currently in jail in Nevada, serving 3 to 10 years in prison. You might remember the 2021 drunk driving crash that killed a young lady in Vegas and her dog. They were barbecued alive because of Ruggs. And they were both drafted in the first round of the 2020 draft. That's not ugly. That's like something lower than ugly. And let me point out also, for those that have been convinced that the draft is the Holy Land and you're going to get amazing players, every year your team's going to get one or two great players. So in the 2020 draft, there were 255 players selected. Out of those 255 players, how many of them have made a first-team All-Pro? That's the highest honor you can get. Pro Bowl doesn't matter. Pro Bowl is a volleyball game. Highest honor in the NFL, and the only honor that really matters is first-team All-Pro. How many players drafted in 2020, 255, how many of them were first-team All-Pro? All right, pens down. Survey says 7. That's it. That's all. Now, using MALLER math on the back of the napkin, MALLER math, that works out to 2.7% of the players drafted in 2020. Many of them are not even in the NFL anymore. They're now working real jobs because it didn't work out for them, but a 2.7% hit rate. And that's where we are. It is the Ben Maller Show. That's what you're listening to. Tell a friend. And if they can't stay up late, try the podcast. Got no calories. And it won't cost you anything.